Hey there, kiddos. Welcome to Sandy's Odds and Bobs. And today what we're going to be making is a cute little pocket out of junk mail. Now, don't we all have junk mail? We get it in the mail. It comes all the time. All kinds of different things that they're trying to sell us. Stuff we don't even need. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start out with choosing an envelope. Now, with this envelope, I've already cut it on my paper cutter. And we're going to toss that part. And I've already colored it with chalk. So what you can do to color it to give it this nice color here is we just color it with some chalk pastel, rub it out, make sure it's nice and smooth. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut the little notch. I want the little notch next. So to cut my notch, I'm using this EK Whale Tail Oval Paper Punch. So we're going to slide that paper punch into the envelope, try to make it even. And we're just going to give it a little snip like that. So there we go. And we just throw this away. We don't need that anymore. Okay. So then we want to brown up our edges on our pocket that we've created. So here again, we're going to just flick the edges, give them a little bit of depth and dimension. This will make a nice contrast, so whatever page you put your pocket on, it will stand out a little bit. Now, to be able to create the color inside this little divot here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of our paper here, and we're going to set it inside there, and then we're just going to rub it very carefully against that edge and create that little darkness that we need just for the edge there. Okay, see how that looks. Yeah, that worked out okay. So we got that. Make sure we keep everything covered up for our ink. Whew. Okay, so the next thing we want to work with is our cluster. This is a cluster. A cluster is basically a group of objects that you gather together to make one object. So first thing we're going to work with is our brown paper bag. Love working with brown paper bags. So you can choose any kind of brown paper bag. It's just a grocery bag, and you're going to tear it down the sides and make a square or rectangle. Now, depending on what kind of image you have over here on your envelope, you may want to make your little square a little larger. This one didn't have very much, so I didn't have to make a very big square, but this one has a little bit more, so we're going to make that a little larger than what we did before. There we go. Okay, and let's make this so. And we'll tear it off about, ooh, gonna be close. Okay, tear it off about like there. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. Yeah, that covers it up nicely. Okay, now the next layer is going to be the fabric, but before we get there, we need to brown our edges again. Okay, so let's brown our edges. We're working on that later. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are again flicking, getting those edges darkened up. Remember, we can make them as dark or as light as we need to. The ink. Click. Okay, get all four sides. Very good. Yep. Looking good. Okay, how's that fitting? It's fitting nicely. Okay, so there again, we want to work with our fabric. Now, the fabric I've chosen is a fabric I've gotten from the thrift store, and it's as you can tell, it's very, very retro. So what you're going to do is you're just going to cut a strip or tear a strip off of that, and then you're going to, let's move this up a wee bit, then you're going to cut or tear, I would suggest tear a strip from that. So you're going to tear a strip from here, you're going to tear a strip from here. To get that torn, you're going to get a little snippet with the scissors, just rip it. You're going to get these little stringies there. I'm not really happy with that white space there, so I'm going to do another one. Okay, this one looks better. Okay, a little snippet. There we go. And get some of those little furry bits off. Yeah, I like that much better. Okay, so, and that's going to lay on there like so. I like that much better. Okay, now the next layer is this little gold thread bit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a gold thread. Now mine's metallic, but you don't have to use metallic. You don't even have to use gold thread. You can use whatever thread you have. Embroidery thread is fine. And we're going to wrap it around your fingers. And again, metallic thread is a little slippery. I'm going to twist it up there in the middle. And then we're going to add some score tape, but it's actually, I call it a double-sided tape because that's actually what it really is. It's double-sided tape. And we're going to snip a little bit of that off over there. And we're going to be putting that in the middle somewhere. And it's okay if it's a little raggy. It's what it's supposed to be. And we can even stick that on there. Ooh, haha. Okay, so we got the tape going there. Now we're going to try to fold that tape over as best we can. In the middle, there we go. Okay, we got like a little bow going on there. And now we're going to peel off the paper topping. So we have the double stick tape in there. Let's see. And it's coming off. There we go. Throw that away. And we're going to stick our double stick tape right down there. And that'll hold pretty good right there onto the fabric just as is. Okay, so our next step is putting on our focal point. Now I chose for my focal point a little image that I actually drew myself. Now you don't have to do that. You can use any kind of image that you find in a newspaper, a magazine, a book, but you do want to make it rather small so that it will fit with the composition. Now, what I did with this is, again, I'm using recycled junk mail, and I just did a little sketch. I just did a little flower design and colored it in, and then when you cut it out, it's going to look like this. So there, again, oh my goodness, you're going to take your fabric square off of the back of your paper, and you're going to lay it down where it's supposed to be again. And we are going to glue this on top of here. And that's going to stick like so. So let's put our cluster together. And again, we're going to start with paper on paper. So we want to work with our tacky glue. And because it is not going to be showing out, we're going to be able to put our glue all the way to the edges. Not too much. There it goes. Okay, and then we are going to close up our cap, snap your cap, And then we're going to be gluing down our fabric. Now, because we're having fabric to paper, we're going to switch glues and switch over to fabric tack. Okay, so we're going to undo the cap here. Careful, careful. And we're going to put down our glue. Because we keep it on the side, it comes out relatively quick. We don't have to sit there and shake our bottle and try to talk to it and say, come out, come out. But it is fine. Okay, so we're going to lay that down again, just like so. And because our image is stuck to that double stick tape, but it's not stuck enough, we're going to use our fabric tack. Put a little dot here, put a little dot here, boop, and that should be good for that. Whew. Yeah, it is a bit smelly. If you don't like smelly glues, this might not be the glue for you, but it works. It works. It works very good. It's like liquid hot glue. Okay, so there we go. We have our cluster ready. Now we're ready for our next step, which is going to be our other piece over here. So again, we're just going to tear a strip of our paper bag. We're going to darken the edges, doing our flick, 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 flick motion. Okay, so there we go. Okay, and so we get that all done. We want to make it nice and dark. Okay, and let's see, where does it go? I'm going to put it right about there. Now we want to make sure that it's not lined up exactly with everything else. We want to make a good design so it's a little on the diagonal. So we're going to glue that down, and again, because it is because it is paper to paper, not fabric to paper, paper to paper, we're going to be using the tacky glue. I'm going to lay that down at that point right there. Ooh, it's slippery. It's good. Okay, then we're going to add our word. Now you can get your words from anywhere. I like to cut mine out of books and I color around the edges with color pencil just to give it a little more emphasis. And then again, I'm going to use the brown ink and I'm going to brown up the edges. And if you get a little too much on there, that's okay. It's all good because it is supposed to be looking like it's vintage. So again, paper to paper, using our tacky glue. Okay, somewhere around there. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to lay that down. We don't want to lay it too close to the edge. We want to give it a little bit of room so it is able to give it a little more balance. And there we go. Now every one that you do is going to look different, just like these two look different. And that's okay, because that's what's unique about working with junk journaling ephemera that you create, is everything's going to look different. Each piece is going to be its own special little piece of artwork. So there we have it. Now, what do we do with it from here? Okay, so now we're ready to find a spot to put it. And my spot happens to be in my little journal I started here. This is a journal I created out of a cereal box. In fact, the cereal box that I found in my son's trash can. And the way that worked was, one Saturday morning, my son invited me over for waffles. His wife, who's from Britain, makes the most fluffy, delicious waffles. So while she was cooking the waffles, I sort of moseyed into the kitchen and I was looking around, smelling stuff, and I happened to notice as I went by the trash can that there was this cereal box in the trash can. And I thought, oh, okay, I can use that. So I says, well, can I have your cereal box? And my daughter-in-law says, sure, fine, go ahead. And as I was pulling it out, I noticed that there was some Chinese carry-out containers next to it. And I thought, well, those are perfectly good Chinese carry-out containers. So I was going to get those too. And I asked her, I says, well, can I have your Chinese carry-out containers? And my daughter said, sure, whatever makes you happy. Go ahead. So I was in the process of pulling them out of the trash can when I hear my grandson behind me. And what I heard was, oh God, Grandma's digging in our trash again. I thought, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's not like I'm a rabid raccoon or anything. I mean, I don't have rabies. So that's how I get some of my recycling stuff, is from working with the kids. Trash. So that's what I use that for. And today what I've used it for is putting in my wet paper towel so I can keep my fingers clean as I'm working here. It makes a very nice container. I also use it to put other things in, my clippings from magazines, and if I'm going out in the car and I know I'm going to have to wait in the car while other people do other stuff, then I'll take a little kit with me and work with it there. And it's just very good and very handy and very durable. So that's the backstory on how I created my little journal with a cereal box. Now you'll notice that it is brown, and the reason why it is brown is because I used paper bags again. And I covered it with paper bag. This piece back here is wallpaper, which you can get from wallpaper samples from places like, the place I got this from was Sherwin-Williams. And they had some discounted, I shouldn't say discount, they had some sample books that they were going to discard. So I asked if I could have one, and they said, sure, fine, and that's the nice pattern I found from there. This is scrapbooking paper, and this actually is the front of a greeting card that I found at a yard sale. And I love this because it is like handmade paper. So I took the backing off of it, and I said, I got a new home for you, sweetie. So I glued it down here. So this is the journal that I made from various pieces of junk, various pieces of paper. And then that's where we're going to find a spot for our little pocket here. So I'm thinking this is a good spot right here. And now, when you are putting pockets into your journals, you have a couple of options that you can work with. You can either glue it straight down and have one pocket. You only have one place to put a journal card or a tag, or you can glue it in a U. That means you're going to glue it from the side, bottom, other side, but you're going to leave the top unglued so that you'll be able to put something in behind the other pocket. So let's do that right now. And because again it's paper to paper, we're going to use our tacky glue. I'm going to glue a thin line down there, somewhat thin line, and a thin line there. Now, you know, glue is glue. Okay, there we go. And we're going to be careful not to stick our fingers in it. And we're going to find what position we like it in. And this looks like a good position right here. Okay, very nice. Okay, so we're going to sit that there for a minute. We're going to press it down till it grabs. A bit. Okay, now with that, see, you can put your tag inside. That works. And then you can put another tag behind it. That also works. So you'll have like a double pocket almost. Like that. Isn't that cute? Yeah. I like it. Normally I would let this dry a little bit longer so it would grab the paper and not pop up as I'm putting things in it. But again, these these are journal cards, and what I made them from was greeting cards. My friend Betsy gave me a whole bunch of greeting cards, and I've been cutting them apart, and this is the front of one card, this is the back of another. I cut it apart and rounded the edges, and of course I inked the sides. Put a little notch, little hole in the top of this one, put a piece of ribbon through it, and it works perfectly. So there again, we're able to make a really cute piece of ephemera for our junk journals from junk. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear what you would have to say about this, and if you have any ideas of how you might use these different objects, and I'd like to hear that too. And there again, if you'd like to know how I made this little piece here from this, I'd be glad. Let me know, and I will do a little video and show you how we did it step by step. Okay, so again, thank you for visiting Sandy's Odds and Bobs, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.